Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Paige, and today I thought I would kind of explain why I have been gone for about a month or so. If you guys haven't noticed from my last update, I was 29 weeks and I'm currently now 33 weeks. Before I get started, I want to make a few disclaimers. At the end, I am going to show you my tummy, that way you guys can kind of see how big I've gotten since my last update. But I'm going to start off with my disclaimers. My first disclaimer, I do have a piece of paper to let me remember on what my disclaimers are. I will not mention any of the medications I am currently using on this channel, only because I do not want any comments telling me that I am a bad mother, telling me that I'm doing something wrong, telling me not to use them. I would rather go by what my doctor says, even though sometimes doctors can obviously not be right half the time. But I'm just not going to put out what kind of medication I'm on. Second, I am considered in labor. I'll explain more in the video on what I mean by that, but there are 3 stages of labor. There's contractions, dilation, and then active labor where you are pushing. So yeah, I'll explain more on what I mean by that, but yes, I am considered in labor. Next, I am by no means a doctor. I'm not going to tell you what you have. I'm not going to tell you, okay, well, if you have this, that means you have this. I'm just going off my experience and what my doctors have told me. The next disclaimer is I want to bring awareness to PUPPPs. So, again, in the video, I'll explain more what that is, and I'll more elaborate on what that word means and what it actually is. So why don't you guys just grab a snack, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and watch this long ass video about how I was in the hospital for over a week. So yeah, it all started about after my 29 week update. I had started to get these hive-like rash all over my body. I started itching. First it started on my stomach, on where my stretch marks are. You guys can't tell, I'm pointing like under my stomach. I started to get them there, and I just started itching and itching and itching. For those who watched my YouTube channel, you guys probably saw my belly button. It looked like a stretch mark, and it was really puffy, and it just kept itching. It spread to my thighs. It's like my inner thighs, it spread into my legs, it spread all over my arms. It was like having 10,000 mosquito bites and not being able to control them. No matter what I did, I tried stretch mark cream, cocoa butter, lotion, Aveeno. I've tried everything to stop the itching. Nothing stopped it, nothing calmed it down. It was getting bad to where I was waking up in the middle of the night scratching myself until I bled, not knowing that I was scratching in my sleep. And I would wake up with blood all over my hands. It was bad. Well, me and my boyfriend kind of racked it up to bug bites, or I had an allergic reaction to something. We kind of mostly racked it up to an allergic reaction. But come to find out that my boyfriend and I were laying in bed one day, and he kind of screamed, "Ow!" And he had lifted up his shirt, and there was a little black bug on his sternum. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, baby, you were right. Oh my god, these are bug bites. They are bug bites. We have bed bugs," even though bed bugs aren't black and they don't look like little beetles. We completely bug bombed our room. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like a little grenade that you set in your house or your room or wherever you're bug bombing, and it spurts out this steam kind of stuff, and it completely gets rid of all the bugs in the room or wherever you're bug bombing. We did that twice, and we did move out everything. We moved out the crib, we moved out my makeup table, we moved out everything. Once we did that, we realized that my hives kept getting worse. And no, it wasn't because, okay, maybe like it got on everything, the fog got on everything. No, we made sure everything was clean. We had cleaned all of our clothes, we had cleaned all of our sheets, we made sure everything was completely clean before I came into the room. My hives got worse and they got more itchy. It got to the point where my mom got very concerned and had told me to go to the hospital. I went up to labor and delivery and I was like, hey, look, I've been feeling like this pressure down in, like, you know, I feel like I'm having period cramps, because I had talked to my doctor that same day and let him know, like, I'm having period cramps. I'm not sure what to do. And he was just like, you know, if you have more than 3 within an hour, go to the labor and delivery. I had 3 within 20 minutes. So I had went to labor and delivery and I was like, hey, look, I'm having period cramps and I'm itching all over. I don't know what to do. They had laid me down, hooked me up to a monitor, and just was like, just basically watched me and the baby. They did notice that I was having contractions, but I wasn't feeling them as I should have been. And they were really bad contractions. Like, they weren't bad, but they were noticeable. Like, something to be concerned about. They checked me, I wasn't dilated, so they were like, okay, you know, we're gonna send you home. Stop itching. That's all we can tell you. Just stop itching. So I said, okay. My hives had gotten worse. A lot worse. And my mom got to the point where she was like, no, okay, that's it. We're going to the back to labor and delivery. My mom had called them like, hey, my daughter won't stop itching. It looks like she has an allergic reaction to something. And they're like, you know, bring her in. My mom had brought me in. They had hooked me up again. And the doctor who was on call had came in and looked at me. And she was like, hey, you have PUPPs. And I was like, because I had looked it up and I was just like, oh, it can't be that because it's not what my body's showing. She was like, you have PUPPs. And for those who don't know what that is, it's pruritic articular pulps and plagues of pregnancy. Don't know if I said that right, but basically it's a hive-like rash, and the only way to get rid of it is if you deliver the baby. And even then, you still are stuck with it for about 6 weeks after you have the baby. So, that's what I have. There's no way to get rid of it other than using anti-itch cream, which barely helps, and Benadryl. And I don't feel comfortable using Benadryl all the time. So, yeah. She was like, well, you have PUPPs. And I was like, okay, well, the whole time I was laying there, they did have me hooked up to a monitor just to make sure the baby was okay, because when you go into labor and delivery, for any reason, they hook you up to a monitor for contractions and for your heart, for the baby's heart rate. And your heart rate. They have a blood pressure cuff. Well, while I was there, I'll see if I can try and put a picture. I don't think I can, but I'm going to try and put a picture of what my contractions look like, because they were out. They were bad. They were like, my doctor told me how bad that they were. I should have been screaming in pain. That's how bad they were. Well, she came in and she was like, oh yeah, you have PUPPs. And she looked at the monitor and she goes, are you feeling contractions? I told her, nope, feel no contractions. I feel nothing at all. She was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to check you and see if you're dilated, and if you are, we'll go from there. So we were kind of just hoping that I wasn't dilated, but when she checked me, she went from, because she was really nice, she went from bubbly to like, okay, hey, how's it going? How are you? She had just delivered a baby and it was very successful. She was like, oh, hi, how are you? And everything like that too. Once she checked me, her face went completely straight, went completely serious, and looked at the nurse and said, she's dilated 2 to 3 centimeters. We need to admit her. And that's when everything kind of just went completely like serious for me. I was just like, wait. And I looked at my mom and I was like, am I in labor? And she's like, yeah, you're in labor. And I was like, oh, okay. They admitted me, so I had to stay overnight in the hospital. They had given me shots of tributylene. For those who don't know, it stops contractions. Unfortunately, those did not stop the contractions. I continued to have contractions. They also had hooked me up to an IV. If you guys can't see, I have one right here. This is from my most recent hospital visit. I'm like bruising so bad. But this is from my most recent hospital visit, what I'll get to a little bit sooner. But this is the one that they did, and they also did one, you guys can't see, they did like right there. They had put IVs in me, and they had hooked me up to magnesium sulfate, I think it's called, and gave me steroid shots to help his brain and his lungs grow. And I was in the hospital for 2 days because of that. They checked me again. She said, you know what, actually you're now dilated 1 to 2 centimeters, depending, because every person is different. She was like, you're technically actually 1 to 2 centimeters, so, and you haven't dilated anymore since you've been here, so we're going to let you go home, and we're going to give you some medication to stop your labor. Well, they only gave me a couple pills to last maybe about 2 to 3 days. Well, when I came home, I had maybe about a day of relaxation until I started to feel this really bad pain behind my right rib cage. And like I took a shower and I was feeling the pain, and I was like, okay, maybe these are contractions, or you know, and I was like, no, it can't be contractions because it's behind my rib cage. And I was like, okay, maybe the baby's like somewhere he's not supposed to be or something like that. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I had gotten out of the shower and I had came into the room, and it hit all at once. It got to the point where I was screaming in pain. Like, I was in so much pain. And my boyfriend and luckily his cousin was here to help me out to the car because I was barely able to walk. I wasn't like barely able to walk, like I was able to walk, but it was very, very painful. So they had walked me out to the car, and they had my boyfriend had took me to the hospital, and I called my mom. I said, Mom, I was like, I don't know what to do. They took me back to the hospital that I'm supposed to be delivering at. The nurses that night were really rude. I was in so much pain, I was screaming like I was in labor, and they had told me that I needed to be quiet. I don't know how that works, because if you have other women in here giving birth and they're screaming, when I'm in pain and I'm screaming because I'm scaring other patients, I don't understand that, so I'm just gonna let that go. But they were really rude. No help. They hooked me to an IV. They gave me some pain medication to stop it. I instantly fell asleep, and the pain went away, and they prescribed me pain medication for when I got home. I got home, the pain medication immediately wore off, and it got worse. The pain got so much worse. I barely lasted until the next morning. I called my mom and said, Mom, I'm still in so much pain, bawling my eyes out, don't know what to do. And she was like, you know, we're taking you to a different hospital. My boyfriend had took me to a different hospital. They admitted me, they had put me in, everything like that, and they gave me pain medication. Unfortunately, the pain medication that they gave me makes you really tired and really sleepy. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what kind of pain medication they gave me, because I don't really know, and I wasn't very aware for that. But they gave me pain medication. It made me fall asleep. I was in and out half the time. This is where this IV comes from, is from that doctor's. And they also drew my blood right here. I was, like I said, was barely awake for that. They ended up doing an ultrasound on me and the baby. The baby, he's perfectly fine. He's perfectly healthy. There's nothing. I'm still dilated. They checked me at the same time, and they're like, nope, yep, you're still 1 to 2 centimeters dilated, and you're still having contractions, so I don't know what to tell you. So we're going to prescribe you more medication to stop the contractions. So, after they gave me the medicine to stop the contractions and to stop the dilation, they did an ultrasound on my kidneys, appendix, and gallbladder. My right kidney was inflamed, and my gallbladder was perfectly fine, and they couldn't find my appendix, so they didn't really know what to do. They told me that, you know, it could be kidney stones, but they highly doubt it because they didn't see any kidney stones when they did an ultrasound. So they were just kind of going off of what they think it was. And they said there's really not much we can do because you're pregnant. Either your doctor chooses to induce you early so we can get rid of this problem, or, you know, you tough it out until the baby gets here. Well, my doctor obviously doesn't want to induce me at any point, so he basically said, nope, tough it out until it gets to the point where you cannot handle it anymore. So they gave me pain medication and told me, like, you know, take this medication, it'll help with the pain. If your pain gets worse, come back. My doctor told me, you know, if it gets worse, you know, don't go back to them, go to a really, if you live in Southern California, you probably know about the hospital Loma Linda. They had told me that, you know, if it gets worse, go to Loma Linda. At that point, they will probably induce you to figure out what's wrong with your kidney because and why it's inflamed. So after I got home, I was on pain medication for about 2 days. Sleeping for those 2 days, I was not aware of anything that was going on or anything like that. I wasn't replying to text messages or anything. And all of a sudden, the pain just kind of just went away. My doctor told me, you know, like, stop, you need to ease up on the pain medication because if you are having contractions and you're taking this pain medication, we can't tell if you're having contractions. So once he said that, I took it so seriously that I completely stopped the pain medications. My side hurt for maybe a good couple hours after that, but then all of a sudden the pain just went away. But I was also drinking lots and lots and lots of water. That's pretty much it. Like, the pain went away. I still do feel contractions off and on, whether the medication that they give me, because I do take it every 8 hours, or no, every 6 hours. I do take it every 6 hours, and I still do have contractions. I still do feel them off and on. Not too bad to where I think I need to go to the hospital, but I know that if I go, they're just gonna tell me, you know, go home. There's nothing we can do until, you know, you're actually in, like, labor. So yeah, that's pretty much why I was gone for the last 2 weeks, and that I am basically in labor. I'm sorry that this video was long and probably boring, but that's why I have been gone. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions or need to know anything or want to see certain videos, just comment down below and I'll let you guys know. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon enough. Bye guys.